Have you ever wondered how a series of battles in the late 19th century between the British Empire and the Zulu Kingdom would change the course of history for both nations? It's a saga of power and resistance, of cultures clashing, and of a people's unyielding spirit. The Zulu Wars, fought in the heart of South Africa, were not just about territory or resources. They were about the very essence of identity, sovereignty, and the human will to endure. On one hand, we have the formidable British Empire, reaching the zenith of its territorial expansion, driven by the belief in its civilizing mission. On the other, the proud Zulu Kingdom, a beacon of military prowess and cultural richness, determined to protect their ancestral lands and way of life. The stakes? Nothing less than the future of two nations, two peoples, and two very different ways of life. Today, we delve into the heart of the Zulu Wars, a clash of cultures, power, and resistance that would shape the destiny of two nations. The Zulu Wars did not happen in a vacuum. They were the result of mounting tensions and escalating confrontations. Let's rewind the clock a bit. The British expansion into Zulu territory was the initial spark that set off this powder keg of conflict. It was the 19th century, and the British Empire, hungry for resources and territory, had its eyes set on the fertile lands and mineral wealth of the Zulu Kingdom. This uninvited intrusion was not taken lightly by the Zulus, a proud and fierce warrior nation. But it wasn't just about land and resources. There was a deeper issue at play here, a clash of cultures and worldviews. The Zulus, with their strong tribal structures and traditions, were pitted against the British with their Western-centric ideals and ambitions. This cultural misunderstanding fueled the growing animosity. The British, convinced of their own superiority, attempted to impose their authority and governance over the Zulu nation. They were met with staunch resistance. The Zulus, led by their king Cetshwayo, were determined to protect their sovereignty and way of life. The tension was palpable, a conflict was inevitable. The final straw came in the form of an ultimatum. The British demanded that the Zulus disband their military structure and submit to British rule. An outrageous demand, especially considering the Zulus' deeply ingrained warrior culture. King Cetshwayo, resolute in his defiance, refused. This act of defiance was seen by the British as a declaration of war, and thus the Zulu Wars began. So you see, the Zulu Wars were not just a series of battles over territory. They were the culmination of a complex web of political maneuverings, cultural misunderstandings, and a resolute desire to maintain sovereignty. They were a result of the unstoppable force of British imperialism meeting the immovable object that was the Zulu nation's will to resist. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the mettle of both the Zulu warriors and the British troops. In the face of overwhelming odds, the Zulu warriors mounted a formidable resistance that shocked the British Empire. Our journey through the key battles of the Zulu Wars begins with the Battle of Isandlwana. On the 22nd of January 1879, the Zulu warriors, armed primarily with spears and raw courage, faced the technologically superior British forces. Undeterred by the British firepower, the Zulu employed their traditional buffalo horns formation, encircling and overwhelming their adversaries. The result was stunning. The British suffered a catastrophic defeat, their confidence shaken, their invincibility shattered. But the fires of conflict burned on to the Battle of Rorke's Drift. On the very same day as Isandlwana, a small British garrison numbering barely over 150 men found themselves besieged by a Zulu force several thousand strong. The British, barricaded within the mission station of Rorke's Drift, fought with a desperation born of survival. Against all odds they held their ground, their defiance earning them 11 Victoria Crosses, the highest and most prestigious award of the British honor system. And yet, this was not the end. The war marched on, leading to the final clash at Ulundi on the 4th of July, 1879. The British, seeking to crush the Zulu resistance once and for all, brought their full might to bear. The Zulu, despite their bravery and determination, were outmatched. Their capital was razed, their king captured, and their resistance for the time being was quelled. Each of these battles, while distinct in their unfolding, were interconnected threads in the tapestry of the Zulu Wars. They were a testament to the sheer courage and tenacity of the Zulu people, who, despite being technologically outclassed, dared to challenge a global superpower. Their bravery was matched only by their strategic acumen, as evidenced in their victories and their ability to pose a significant threat to the British. On the other side, The British, driven by the relentless push of imperialism, were forced to confront their own vulnerabilities. The shock of Isandlwana, the grit of Rorke's Drift, and the finality of Ulundi highlighted the cost of their empire building, both in lives and in morality. Ultimately, these battles were turning points not only in the course of the war but also in the wider narrative of colonialism and resistance. They underscored the resilience of people fighting for their land, their freedom and their way of life, against an empire that sought to subjugate and control. They were chapters of a story written in blood and bravery, a story that continues to echo through the annals of history, resonating with the struggles of countless others across time and space. Each battle, a testament to the courage and tenacity of the Zulu people, and the relentless push of British imperialism. The Zulu Wars left an indelible mark on both the Zulu Kingdom and the British Empire, the repercussions of which are still felt today. In the aftermath of the Zulu Wars, the once proud and independent Zulu Kingdom found itself under British rule. The traditional Zulu way of life was upended, as the British sought to impose their customs, laws, and religion. The Zulu king Cetshwayo was exiled, and the kingdom was divided into 13 separate chieftaincies to prevent any unified resistance against British rule. Yet the spirit of the Zulu people was not so easily quelled. Their resistance against the British continued, culminating in the Bambatha Rebellion at the dawn of the 20th century. Although the rebellion was ultimately quelled, it marked an important turning point in the history of South Africa, sparking a broader movement for independence that would eventually lead to the end of British rule. But the Zulu Wars had repercussions far beyond the borders of the Zulu Kingdom. For the British Empire, the wars were a stark reminder of the costs of imperialism. The British had anticipated a swift and easy victory, yet they found themselves embroiled in a costly and protracted conflict. The wars strained the resources of the empire and exposed the vulnerabilities of British imperial rule. Moreover, the Zulu Wars shattered the myth of European invincibility. Here was an African kingdom that had dared to challenge one of the world's most powerful empires and had fought valiantly. The wars served as a source of inspiration for other colonized peoples around the world, fueling their own struggles for independence. The legacy of the Zulu resistance continues to resonate today. It serves as a powerful symbol of resistance against colonialism and cultural imperialism. It underscores the importance of preserving one's cultural heritage in the face of foreign domination. And it provides a poignant reminder of the human cost of empire. But perhaps most importantly, the Zulu Wars highlight the resilience and courage of the Zulu people. Despite being outmatched in terms of military technology and resources, they refused to submit to British rule. They fought fiercely to defend their land and their way of life, demonstrating a spirit of defiance and determination that continues to inspire today. In the context of modern discussions on colonialism and cultural resistance, the Zulu Wars serve as a powerful case study. They illustrate the potential for resistance, even in the face of overwhelming odds. They highlight the destructive impact of colonialism, but also the enduring spirit of those who resist it. And they challenge us to reflect on the legacies of our own past, and the ways in which history continues to shape our present. The Zulu Wars, a poignant reminder of a time when an African kingdom dared to challenge one of the world's most powerful empires. As we look back on the Zulu Wars, we are compelled to reflect on its broader implications. This conflict was not merely a series of battles between the Zulu Kingdom and the British Empire, but a poignant representation of the universal themes of resistance, imperialism, and the clash of cultures. The Zulu Wars were a testament to the resilience of a people striving to maintain their cultural sovereignty against the onslaught of imperialism. This fierce resistance, and the cunning military tactics employed by the Zulu warriors, were a stark contrast to the sweeping tide of British colonialism that had seemed invincible. In the broader context of today's world, we are reminded of the importance of understanding and respecting cultural diversity. The Zulu Wars are a stark reminder of what can transpire when cultural understanding is not prioritized, and power dynamics are skewed. May the echoes of the Zulu Wars serve as a reminder of our shared history and inspire us to learn from our past as we navigate our future.